A few months ago, I showed you my out-of-town bag. You know, the bag that I take with me when I go anywhere out of my little city here. Well, today, we're going to look at what might just replace it. Hey everybody, Big Todd here. Welcome back to the channel. A while back, I did a video on my truck EDC bag, or my bag that goes in my truck whenever I go out of town. Now that bag was the Condor outdoor sling bag. In that video, I showed you what I carried, why I carried it, and how I used it to travel out of town. It wasn't that there was anything wrong with it. It has served me well for many a years, but I wanted just a little more room for a few extra items. Well, I finally made the jump. I picked up the 511 MOAB 6 sling pack. And today I'm going to show you how I've got it set up, what I'm carrying in it, and why I decided to make the switch. So before we jump into the bag itself, let's talk a little bit about why I upgraded. You know, the Condor bag did everything that I needed it to do. It carried my essentials, it helped me stay somewhat organized, and it fit nicely right in front of the seat in my truck. And it didn't, hit my legs or anything like that while I was riding around. But over time, I found myself wanting to carry a few more additional items. And maybe you've experienced the same thing. You start with the basics, and then you realize there are a few things that would be nice to have with you while traveling. Now, the problem was that I was basically playing Tetris every time I packed this bag. Everything fit, but there wasn't much room left for anything else. I didn't want a backpack. I didn't want something huge. I wanted something that still fit right in front of my seat in that little space between my legs and the seat. I wanted it to stay compact, but give me a little extra capacity. Now I looked and I looked and I looked and I looked at a lot of sling bags. That's what led me to the MOAB 6. So just to let you guys know, this video would normally take place on the tailgate of my truck out at the shooting range like the other one did, but it's absolutely pouring outside. We haven't had rain like this in quite a while, so I'm not going to be mad at it, but it's forced me to be here on the back porch. So let's go to the tabletop and we're going to talk about this bag and compare it to the Condor bag. Alright guys, first impressions of this 511 MOAB 6 bag. This thing feels like it's incredibly built. It's built well. The material, it feels durable. The stitching looks good and solid. The zippers are nice and smooth. And the organization is excellent. You know, one thing I like immediately is that it gives me more usable space without feeling like dramatically larger than my previous bag. It is a little larger and you can tell that, but it's not this huge change. You know, it's still compact enough that I can throw it in the truck, slide it under in front of the seat there and not have it taking up too much room. For me, that's important because this isn't a hiking pack, it's not a bug out bag, it's not a get home bag. This is a travel companion that goes with me when I'm heading out of town or taking a road trip. In fact, this bag is getting its first real test on our upcoming family trip to North Carolina for the 4th of July. It's going to get a chance to ride where my other bag rode, and I'm going to have it for several days, and then I can come back and bring you a good full review on how this worked. Now, let's take a look around this bag. You'll see on the front here, you have a place of loop where you can put your morale patches, hook and loop. Got the old American flag there. You've got plenty of MOLLE. You've got some. Now, I bought this one used, and I'm not sure if these straps normally come with it or if it comes with more or less. I got this one off eBay, and it came with one compression strap right there. And really, that's about all I need. It's got plenty of MOLLE down the side, on both sides. And on the back, it has these little patches so when you're carrying it in that sling mode, these little rubberized gription pads right here, they kind of hold it in place, so you don't have to worry about it slinging around on you, moving around on you. This bag does have multiple compartments. You have the front small pocket here, you have a larger pocket, and then you have what people call the sunglass pocket. I usually don't put my sunglasses there. I'd put little knickknacks and things like that. And it's got a back pocket here. Now guys, the other thing I like about this is it has one more little pocket that I would usually keep in the sunglasses pocket of my other bag. And it's right up here, and this just holds things that I need to get to really easy. We're going to go through them all in a minute, don't worry. I do like that it had a sturdy carry handle. That's one of the things I look for, because my other bag, the Condor bag, had that carry handle right there. I rarely carry it over my body as a sling bag. I usually just carry it back and forth to the truck with this carry handle here. Now, when you're talking about shoulder straps, this one probably isn't as comfortable as a lot of sling bags out there. I don't know if this comes with a pad normally. I'm not sure if it does or not. Like I said, this came off eBay, but this one doesn't have any padding for the shoulder, but it is long enough for my big body to get it around there. Overall, it seems like it's designed for people who actually use their gear instead of just looking at it. Now, let's get to the fun part. Let's get to the contents of this bag. I'm not saying that everyone should carry exactly what I carry. This is simply what works for me and my family's travel needs. So let's start with this front pocket up here. And this is kind of what I equate to as like my working pocket, my tools pocket. So I carry my Rat 3. I carry my Braun Slim flashlight. I love this little flashlight. They're cheap and they work really good. You know, it's probably not a Streamlight or something like that, but it works really well. I carry some zip ties. I carry some magic markers. I carry a small flat blade and a small Phillips head screwdriver. More markers, and I carry a chem light. And then, and those are just in the front two pouches up front right here when you first open it up. That's what I carry in there. Now in the main compartment, just loose in the compartment, I carry a Bucklight Versatool. I do carry some hand sanitizer. This is good for obviously sanitizing your hands, but if you need to make a fire, this stuff's flammable too. And then I carry some cheap gloves from Home Depot. Now I will tell you guys that the addition of the little flashlight and the addition of the little flathead and Phillips head screwdriver, that's new. So this allowed me room to do that. Now we do have a little key carrier in here, and I've just got a key, and then I've got a little oil vial. You never know when you got to give a blessing when you're away from the house. And then this here is just like a little mini Zippo lighter. And man, if you had ever had a hangnail and you didn't have any fingernail clips, you'd go crazy. So I got some fingernail clippers. I just hang those on the inside here. And it's got plenty of little pockets on the back side here. I've got some nitrile gloves. I've got a chapstick. And I've got some alcohol wipes. And that pretty much sums up what I've got in the front compartment there. Now let's go to the main big compartment here. And one thing I do like is those zippers go all the way down, so I can open this thing up like I really would like to. I do carry a headlamp, a small first aid kit. Now I think I'm going to transfer this to a bag rather than this bowl, this watertight bowl thing, and that might save me a little room. But I carry this first aid kit. I always carry my big first aid kit in the truck, but if you happen to be out and you just grab this bag and you're somewhere and you need a band-aid or some tape or some, somebody got stung by a bug or something, some bee sting stuff, I got this with me. The other thing I have with me is a gravity water filter. Now this water filter I made myself, and it's a waterproof bag that you can get water in, and then it goes down through the tubing, through the filter, and out the other end clean water. So like to have that with me. I've got some earplugs, some Gold Bond, if you know, you know. And then I added a handkerchief to the handkerchief that I already had in there previously. So I got two, one's a little bit bigger. I do have these close cut nippers again, you know, travel with those kids with braces. Comes in really handy. That's about all I've really used it for, guys. That and cutting zip ties. Then I've got just some wet wipes. Now, we do have, I'm going to show you guys this. We do have this net pocket in here, and I keep cords, backup charger, and 4 AA batteries, along with just some old squished up kind bars. You never know when you might need a little something. Then, guys, you have another zippered pocket right below it. I don't have anything in there. And then on the back side here, you have the big pocket where I keep the wet wipes and stuff. And that can be cinched down. You know, it would probably fit a iPad or something like that in there. And then that sunglass pouch, that hangs down right in there. And then we'll get it all back in there and zip it up. Now, like I said, those zippers work really good. And it does have a flap that will, it probably doesn't make it waterproof, but it does flip over the zipper. Maybe water resistant, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have anything in the sunglass, but it is felt lined. I like that. On the back, now this is a unique zipper. It doesn't just open one way. You can open it both ways, right? Or you split the zippers and it's closed. So in here, I've added my poncho. All right, keep my poncho in there, and then a spare magazine. And you might ask, why do I keep the spare magazine back there? Well, I'm going to show you real quick. Now, the concealed carry part of this bag, which was a must for getting me another truck bag, because I do carry my pistol when I travel, amongst other weapons. It's right here, and it's Velcro. It's hook and loop, tear away, and it's right there. But as you guys know, I carry this Springfield XDM 3.8 inch with a full length grip. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, in the other bag, in this Condor bag, I have plenty of room to carry both the pistol and the magazine in there. In fact, it kind of flopped around a little bit. I never did put a holster in there. I will tell you in here that this compartment is much smaller, okay? It holds the pistol just fine. It holds it nice and secure, even if it were to come unvelcroed. I don't think, it does have a place you can put a Velcro holster in there, but I don't need it for this pistol. This is nice and tight. In fact, I can't fit the magazine in there comfortably and be able to draw my pistol if I need to, so I just keep it in the back. And it's got this little tab here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got this little tab right here, and I think what I'm going to do is probably put some paracord around that so I don't have to try to grab that tab to get the Velcro open. I can just grab it with my hand and pull. So I'm probably going to add that to it. Now, one thing I really do like is the quick access pocket to this pistol. It's there. I'm in there and I've got it, right? I don't have to undo a zipper or anything like that. I'm on it. Now, one of the biggest reasons I moved to this bag was being able to add a few things that simply wouldn't fit comfortably in my old setup. Now I can carry those items without overstuffing the bag. And that's probably the biggest win for me. Now, like I said, I've added the poncho, I've added the first aid kit, and a few other small things. And I really like it. I really like this setup. I haven't tried it in the front of the truck yet. So we're going to do that in this video. We're going to go out and we're going to get some video. I'm going to show you where I put it, where I ride with it, and how it looks. And then we'll come back. But before we do that, I want to show you this one last pocket that's right here. It's right here on the strap. Now, I really like this. It's got more loop here, so you can put another morale patch if you want. But I like this because I can carry just some small items. I've got some more chapstick. I've got another lighter. Probably not as many lighters as last time, guys. I've got some lifesavers. If you're ever around a diabetic and their blood sugar goes a little too low on them, it's nice to have a little lifesaver or something like that to give them to help them get that sugar up. So then you can get a kind bar in them or get some orange juice or something like that in them. I also carry a little knife sharpener. Carry some cash, small denominations. You get stuck somewhere and you've got a 50 or 100 or a 20. I don't carry 50 or 100s very often, believe me. Some places out in a rural area might not be able to cash that. They might not want to cash it. They might think it's fake. So I carry, 10s, 5s, and 1s. And then I have the little frog again, one of my kids gave me. I just kind of carry it as a good luck charm. All right, guys, let's head on out to the truck and see how she fits. All right, guys, as you can see, we're in the front of the truck here, and this is where it normally sits for me. So let's throw her in there and see what we got. I kind of tuck the strap up under the seat like this, and I usually ride with it just like that. Now, I can tell you just by looking at it, it is a little bigger than the other bag. I might have to turn it one way or the other, but let's get in and look at it. Guys, it fits great. Right there between my legs, just like that. And I've got good access, probably not easy access, but I've got good access to my firearm in case I need it if I'm in a tough situation or something like that. But I really like the way it fits. All right, guys, so we saw how it fit in the truck. I think I'm gonna like it. Like I said, I haven't been on a long trip with it yet, but we're gonna find that out. Who is this bag for? So, who do I think this bag for? Well, I think it's great for road trips, everyday travel, truck carry. Man, you really gotta love the neighbors. This is why I like filming at the range. I don't know if you heard that or not. So who do I think this bag for? Well, I'm gonna tell you what, this bag is really good for road trips. It's good for everyday travel, truck carry, daily commuters, people who want more organization without carrying a full backpack. We'll just let him go on. You gotta love 16-year-olds with their first trucks. So like I was saying, guys, this bag is good for road trips, everyday travel, truck carry, daily commuters, people who want a little more organization without carrying that full backpack. You know, if you're just carrying a few essentials, the smaller Condor bag, it may be a better option for you. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because that was a good bag and it did me well for years. But if you found yourself needing just a little more space like I did, the MOAB 6 might be worth a look for you. So far, guys, I'm really impressed with this bag. Like I said, it hasn't been on a trip yet, but I'm really impressed with this bag. I've only recently switched it over, so this isn't a long-term review. I will come back with that, like I said, after our trip. I'll come back and give you that longer review of my thoughts on it and how it worked for me. Think of this as a first look and a setup video, right? After I get back from our North Carolina trip and I spend some real time using it, I'll come back, I'll do a follow-up video and review and let you know what worked, what didn't, and whether I think whether it's still worth the upgrade and I'm going to stick with it. Now, if you've used the MOAB 6, let me know down in the comments. What are your likes or dislikes about it? And if you carry a travel bag in your truck or vehicle, I'd love to hear what's in yours. I always learn something from reading these comments, guys. You guys are great. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And check my other videos out on guns and gear and EDC and everyday stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day, and God bless.